So let's come to the purpose. Why do we need spoken English? Because all of us get along very well with our mother tongue. Especially, I've seen people in Kerala very passionate about the mother tongue and the you love your tongue, you love your language, and it is the right way. It's the way it should be. But there is also, in some cases, a good understanding of English and a good way of speaking English is useful um, to to do certain things. And what are some of the things, in my view, where spoken English can come in handy? The first thing is for communication. Communication, essentially, you have some very good communicators in Venda today. You have Diana, you have CC, you have Shalini. They are excellent communicators, and in English, I've seen them in multiple forums. So when you say communication, it is about speaking, it is about listening, it is about understanding. So where does this come into play? One, when you are working in a professional requirement, when you are in the office, even within Kerala itself, when you are in an office environment, it's very expected, very often expected that you speak in a language like English, because not all of your colleagues will be from Kerala. Some of them may be from outstation. And when you are, like, say, when in a Zoom meeting like this, there are people who will be participating from different locations. So it's sometimes the de facto or the default language that are used in official communications in most places. So you use it in when you speak, when you convey things. It's good to have some level of proficiency, some level of expertise in spoken English. Also, as part of your work, as part of what you do, you may have to participate in conferences and seminars where you have to speak, where you have to go onto the stage or where you have to ask questions. In that time, it's good to have some level of comfort in spoken English. So that's from the official part of it. The second reason why it is good to have some level of understanding of spoken English is when you meet with people who don't understand our own mother tongue. People like me, I'm not very proficient in Malayalam. So if I come to Kerala, if everybody speaks to me in Malayalam, then I'll have to go learn Malayalam and come. That may take a little longer. So for our conversation to be productive, it's good to find a common language, which is very often English. So with people who are visitors to your place, or when you visit Bangalore, when you visit, for example, Vienna, Diana goes to places like Vienna. So there, it's good to have a common language, which is again English. So it's good when we visit or when we have visitors, it's good to have some level of comfort in spoken English. The third area where spoken English is useful is when we get into learning subjects which are dependent on English. For example, if you're doing an engineering course, or if you're doing medical, if you're doing some professional programs, it is good to communicate in English, because a lot of those terms are better to learn and communicate and speak in the English language. It's very difficult to translate them into local language, then understand, and then retranslate when you go back and talk to somebody else. So it's good to have some level of comfort when we speak in English. The fourth purpose, very often, people want to do this, but I'm not very sure how many of you want to be doing that, is to show off that I know how to talk very well in English. It's not necessary, but there are some people who do this just to show off that, how great I am. For example, somebody we all know uses floppy nosini heliperification. Now, nobody understands what that word is, and it's fairly useless to use it in common language. Actually, the meaning of the same word, floppy, nosiny, hilipilification, is actually useless. Okay. So these are some of the common uses, common requirements of spoken English. When you are at work, when you are in conferences, when you are talking to somebody, when you are learning something, when you are meeting people who don't know your language, even sometimes you may have to communicate in, let's say, radios or TVs. So you may want to, you may be asked to come and talk about things. So it may be good to learn this language. These are some of the uses and purposes. Okay. Any questions, any doubts, anything else that the team thinks that you need spoken English for? Yes, Darshan.
Yeah, but I am from Tamil Nadu and I've been working at Vanda. But for me, so far, this whole concept has worked the other way around.
Yes.
In many a context in Kerala, I had to put much more effort in learning the local language. I mean, when I was in Bangalore, it was a different story. As long as you know English, you can survive in any office, you can survive in any place on the road. But when
Correct.
it came to some place like Kerala, even let's say if you're speaking to press,
Yes.
someone from a journalist office or photographer, he expects you to speak in the local language, irrespective of how you come. So when it came to the workplace communication, at least I don't know if it's gonna be contextual, because in Kerala's context, it has always been the other way around for me.
Understood. Understood. So, and very often,
have the same to say.
yes,
No, I was just saying Gopal, who is on the team,
yes,
will also have the same feedback like Darshan.
yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
And it is possibly the right way, because when you are in a location, it is good to have certain level of mastery in the local language to interact and communicate and get work done in that location. When I am in Karnataka, I have learned Kannada over the last 30 years I've been here. I can reasonably communicate, speak, and listen, understand the local language, and that's the way it should be. The reason why I said that is in the workplaces, and very often, especially in places like Bangalore, especially when people from Venda have to move on to other locations, it may be a requirement for us to speak in languages where the other location people have to understand us. So I'm not saying English is the compulsory requirement for all of us to be proficient, but when we need to deal with people who are not proficient in our language, it helps us to put across our point of view. And how do we become better in doing that? So that is the context. I'm not saying being good in Malayalam is not enough. Okay, or it's very highly recommended that we are good and proficient in our mother tongue, and at least in a few more languages, especially in the area that we are located in, where we are working in. It is very important that we learn and interact in the local language that we have. But there are often times when we also need to communicate to a larger audience, to a larger group of people, or a different group of people who don't understand language. And it is not always possible to expect them to be aware of our language. At that time, how do we communicate? That is when the spoken English comes into play. Thanks for asking that question. Does it help you? Is that
Yes.
okay with you?
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions, or shall I go ahead?
Raja sir?
Yes, go ahead, Rashma.
Yes, sir, I am Reshma.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, thank you. Sir, I want to share something else. That is, for as a Malayali, our concept, I know that people around us, and our concept is that if one is speaking in English, we we are not able to deal with them or to even to speak with them. That is our concept.
Okay.
Okay, even from first standard to children, if one is coming and speaking in English, they will look like, oh, he is speaking English. I can't speak to them. That's the concept of our people.
Ah,
I want to share that. So
very good.
I
Thank you.
think everyone is frightened about that.
Why do you think so, Reshma? That's a very nice point that you brought out. I'm happy that you brought out. Why do you think? Because you are actually helping me to move into the next part of my talk.
Yes,
So it's
yes,
nice
thank
that you brought it out.
you. Yes.
In your mind, in your opinion, why do you think people are having that fear?
Maybe they think when I before I came to Venda, I was like, if I am speaking English, I want to see the grammar and all.
Yes.
And I got the thing when I spoke to Gobalji when I came to Venda. He told me that Reshma, language is not for grammar and not like that.
Yes.
Language is only for communication.
Correct.
The only point when now I speaking in English because of that point.
Very
So
good.
I want to thank you, Gobalji, now. And okay,
Very nice. Very nice.
and
Yes.
yes, that's the I think so. One of the point is that behind that.
Very good. That's you brought out a very valid point. The there is one part of the story where sometimes we are so proud of our language and our roots that we don't feel it is required for us to learn the other language. That is one way people think. And so because of that, we don't make efforts to learn that language. Saying, why should I know that? I should be only focusing on my language. A lot of people who talk like that, mainly politicians sometimes, and in the process, they sort of hold back on development of a lot of other things. But there is also, as you rightly said, because of the thing, you feel uncomfortable. You feel a little awkward when you are interacting with people who speak English. And why are there such problems? The number one sometimes is we are very conscious of our accent, the way we speak English. You know, when I speak English, I speak in this way. When somebody from Kerala who is very strong in the Malayalam language, you will have a certain different way of pronouncing things. That's the accent. For example, I say lorry, you will say lorry. Now, some people may make fun of it, but that is the way our native way of speaking is. And as long as we become comfortable over a period of time, we can work on it. Or if we don't even work on it, other people will get used to it. So sometimes when people point this out, we feel it is a mistake. We feel the people are telling things about me. So I will rather not open my mouth and I'll keep quiet. So sometimes accent comes into the way. For example, when you hear Diana speak, you will find that there is absolutely no accent that shows that she is from this area. Or you have a very wonderful example of spoken English in Trivandrum, your member of parliament in Trivandrum, Mr. What is his name? I'm getting old, I'm forgetting. So Mr. Tharoor, yes, right? So you see, when he speaks, you don't get any accent. Over a period of time, you can develop that process. The second part of the problem sometimes is very often, because we don't practice English often enough, we are not continuously doing this. We think in our language and try to translate it in the English language and then speak. Now, the construction of a sentence, the construction of how the words, the verb, the subject, the predicate, all that is done is different in different languages. So when you directly convert and translate, sometimes the verb comes before the subject comes before the word, and it gets all jumbled up and it becomes a little confusing. It takes a little time, like how Mr. Gopal sir said. First, go ahead, communicate. Over a period of time, we can smoothen it out. Otherwise, Because I'm not here to teach you grammar. I'm not here to tell you this is idiom, this is phrase, this is past tense, this is present. That is not the requirement. We have passed all that stage. What we are wanting to do in spoken English is to communicate a point. I have something to say, and this is what it is. As long as the other person understands, we have done our job. And as we continue to do it over a period of time, we get more comfortable. It becomes more fluent. It becomes more comfortable. It becomes more smooth. Initially, it may have some hiccups. Some little roadblocks will be there, little bumps will be there. That is all fine. The point we all have to understand is, why do we speak in a language? We want to communicate something to the other person. If the person understands my native language, I communicate in that language. If he doesn't know my native language, I use a common language. In this case, it is English. So that is all we want to do. So it's okay. Initially, it may be a little difficult because we are thinking in one language and speaking in another language. There could be some mix up there and there. Over a period of time, it works out. Some of us have become so used to it, now we start thinking in English. I don't think in Tamil. I don't think in Kannada. I don't think in Telugu, which is my mother language. When I think itself, I think in English, so it becomes a little bit more comfortable for me to speak in English over a period of time. Okay. The other problem very often we face is most of us have a limited number of words that we know, vocabulary, right? If you take Oxford Dictionary, there are 273,000 words, 273,000 words in the Oxford Dictionary. If you have seen the dictionary, it's like a pillow, okay? But that is not required for all of us to know all these words. A normal, even an American or a British normal average English speaking person uses just 20,000 words on an average basis. That is all we need to know. Even if I were to talk like a British or an American. Now, we don't need to speak like a British or an American. We need to speak like a normal person in India who needs to communicate something. So the more we know, the better it is. So you can use the appropriate word. Otherwise, we end up using some wrong word, or we struggle. We struggle for that word and say, yeah, what do I say about this? Then we possibly bring in some our own local language word and put in there, and we proceed on that basis. Okay. Because of all this, as Reshma said, we will lack confidence when we speak to the people when they are talking to us in English. Then we feel a little awkward. When we feel a little not very confident, we keep quiet. We don't want to respond because, hey, my language is bad, my accent is bad. I don't know how to speak. I don't know so many words. He's talking big words. I don't know how to use big words. We don't need to use big. The more big words you use, the less understandable you are. You will become more confused. You're all possible. Many of you would have heard one big word that was used day before yesterday in when on 8 o'clock on a TV station, right? On Hindi. Suddenly somebody said Atmanirbhar. Nobody in India understood what Atmanirbhar meant. Right? So when you use a big word, it becomes a problem. Then you have to explain. You have to give in a lot of other terms to say what is this word and why this we need to. It's better for us to use small words where all of us can understand. Okay. Now, anything else anybody wants to add? Gopal sir is shaking his head.
Yeah, I wanted to say you must not be afraid to make mistakes. Only by committing mistakes you learn.
Yes.
If you are afraid to commit mistakes, then we can't progress.
Right, absolutely. That's the only way we can learn English. Any language, for example.
Yeah.
So
I would like to add one more thing. I would like to remind the team that Venda is a great platform for you to experiment your knowledge of English. I mean, at least try, because here it's we have put in a lot of effort to make this space very judgmental free, and people are a young crowd, and we are open. I mean, it's okay to make a mistake. So I think this is that practice ground for you. So I think people should just go ahead and make their mistakes and get it corrected. Only when we keep saying, keep talking, will we be able to gain confidence. And I would like to take the example of Reshma.
Yes.
Reshma is now confidently, I mean, I'm so happy that she, even spoke right now and so well.
Hmm.
So,
Very good. Thank you, Shalini. Thank you so much. Again, it's a very, very nice, because you have now helped me to nicely move into my third part, which is what is that we can do, right? So we looked at why do we need to have spoken English as the first part. The second part, we said what are some of the common issues that trouble us when we are trying the spoken English. Now the third part, when we come, is to see, so what can we do about it? See, we are all not trying to become big English speaking orators, or we are not into getting into Obamas and those kind of stuff. We are trying to first, how can we become good communicators? How can we make our point, tell what we want to tell to other people so they can understand us in a confident, nice way. So we feel happy that we are able to communicate. They feel happy that they are able to understand. That is the primary purpose. And then as we become more comfortable, we can build on it, right? So to do that, what are the things that we do? The first thing, as Shalini very correctly said, talk, right? Feel comfortable about talking. Even if you feel, I don't know the word, even if you are, inserting Kerala, Malayalam words in between, that is still okay. Go ahead and talk. Don't worry about accent. Don't worry about stammering. Don't worry about gaps. Don't worry about pronunciation. All that will come. First, from our point of view, the first step that all of us we need to do is to step out and use the language whenever we feel comfortable, whenever we feel there is a need. And if you want to improve in English, make that as a common language of communication within Venda itself. How did I learn Kannada? When I joined Wipro, I was in the customs clearance department after my first or second year. So I used to go do customs clearance in the airport. Now for that, I needed to clear documents from the bank. When the shippers send the goods, the bank has to say, okay, the money has been paid before the items can be taken out of the godown. Now the fellow in the finance department, Sir Gopal sir, like you only, he was a Kannadiga. Now my agreement with him, or my deal with him was, Prabhakar, if I don't speak to you in Kannada, don't give me the document to take to the customs. So I forced myself to speak to him in Kannada so I can do my job. If I don't speak to him, he doesn't give me the document from accounts, I can't go do the customs clearance. So I will make all kind of stupid mistakes, but I will still go and try to speak. So instead of saying, can I go bring that person? I will say, can I go carry that person and come? So they will say, hey, this is a wrong usage. People will get upset if you use. So they will correct me. Right? So it's like, in Kannada, you say, Karkon Bartani means, okay, I'll go bring him along and come. I'll go and say, I'll Takkan Bartani. Means I'm carrying him and coming. Right? So they will laugh at me initially, but in the office is all fun. So I used to learn slowly, one word by one word. So same, even in Venda, one thing you can do is to, as much as possible, when you want to say, okay, and if Reshma wants to tell something to Darshan, she can one day, Cheta, she can tell in Malayalam. That's the normal way to do. The other way says, to whatever you want to communicate, say in English. So you become more comfortable. The first time you say it may be a little uncomfortable. The second time you say it becomes little bit more easier. And so you become, now that is the part of the speaker to come out and speak. Now there is a responsibility of all the people who are listening in Venda also. What is your responsibility? First thing is, don't make fun. Don't insult the people, or don't make the person who's trying to speak in English feel uncomfortable. The first response when we hear something wrong is to laugh, is to make fun. Ha, see what, you make stupid mistakes you're making. If you want the other person to learn, you can possibly even smile, laugh, but in a nice way. So both of you can have fun with that and then say, okay, this is what you said. It will be better if you say this way. So you can become self-correcting. All of us can become one big language course. So if I say something wrong and you know that I'm saying something wrong, you say, hey, you say it this way. This way will be better. Okay, try now, say once more. Then it becomes okay. You become one person becomes a teacher, one person becomes a student. Next time the teacher becomes a student, the student becomes a teacher. So it becomes one common, nice, friendly classroom for all of us to do that. So that's the practice. If you want to become a little bit more comfortable with speaking, if you, let's say tomorrow, Shalini says, okay, Reshma, you need to come and talk about what you did in this Chalanam yesterday in English for 3 minutes. Now that is a little more difficult than saying, okay, give me water, right? So how do you do that? First, write down what you want to speak. It's 3 minutes means it will become about 6 lines or 7 lines. Then stand in front of the mirror and talk. Don't read in your mind. If you read in your mind, if you say, okay, I have read it, I have understood what I've written, when you come and speak, it won't come out the same way. You will get stuck on the second word or third line. So read it out loudly in front of a mirror. So you can see how you are reading and you can hear how you are reading. Now today, all of you have smartphones. Most of you have smartphones with cameras and these things and WhatsApp and all that. You can record your own speaking. That is another way to do that. So when you see yourself speaking, you know how you are speaking, what mistakes you're making. You do that twice. Next time, next morning when you come and talk to Shalini, you will talk like one professional. You will find that you are not, getting stuck in the middle. You are not struggling for words because you already practiced. You are seeing yourself speaking. Automatically, the confidence will come. But the most important thing is when you write down something to be spoken, don't just read it in your mind. For at least till you become more comfortable, because reading in mind is not the same as speaking it loud. Till you become comfortable, practice speaking either in front of a mirror or in front of your video. Record your own video so you know what you are speaking. How do you learn more words? How do you learn more phrases? How do you learn more about the language? How do you understand the right way of speaking? Most of you will have TV at home. Don't watch news. Today, if you watch news, you will only get depressed. Most of the time, it is all rubbish that is going on over there. It's actually one person telling his point of view, another person telling his point of view. It is not news. It is only propaganda. Half the time they'll make you feel sick by saying so many people are falling sick, so many people are dying, so many people are getting corona, so many people are dying. So in America, so many. It is sometimes not very comfortable watching news these days. Watch things like History Channel. Watch things like Discovery Channel. Okay. Watch more English programs, where you will find that when I see these programs, one thing I've noticed, they'll all speak very slowly because they want people to learn things. It is not like a movie where people can talk in different accents and different languages. These programs, because they are educational programs, they speak very slowly, very calmly, so you can follow what you're speaking. And then when you listen to them, you will find what is the right way to express something. How to say things, how to pronounce certain words, how to put across a point of view very nicely. And in the bargain, you will also learn some new interesting stuff when you listen to Discovery Channel or when you go to History Channel. It is an extremely nice way to learn about the world, to learn about new things, interesting things. And they also give you more interesting things to talk about. Other than what is happening in Kerala, you will understand what is happening in the world. You will learn about the pyramids, you will learn about the whales, you will learn about the birds, you will learn about the archaeology, you learn about history, how people went and fought with each other and killed each other and drowned, how people climbed the Everest. A lot of interesting stuff, because what is the most important thing that is required when you're speaking to somebody? You need to be interesting. Other person should want to listen to you. It is not about the English. It is about what you are trying to say. When you have more interesting things to say, your conversation becomes more interesting. So these things also make you more interesting, because you begin to learn more interesting things to talk about. So do that. The third thing that you can do, if you are really serious about learning spoken English, is to go to the internet, and you will see courses that help you to learn English. I went and did a quick search before I came to the session. I did a search on online spoken English courses. Just did a Google search. Can you guess how many hits I got? 28 crores 60 lakhs hits, which means Google can give you search results, 28 crore results for online English courses. You don't need so many, you need 2 or 3. Right? If you are interested, go there, and they will tell you, they will give you the how to speak, how to put phrases, how to put idioms, how to do this, that. That is more serious people, if you want to get onto the next level. Okay. So the other thing that you want to do is to read English. Okay. I'm not sure what newspapers you read when you are in Venda. Are you reading the Malayalam Manorama in Kerala in Malayalam, or are you reading English newspapers? If you want to learn more about English, if you want to get more understanding of words, the best thing for you is to read newspaper. Okay, because one, it is giving you things that are relevant to what is happening to you today. You are not reading history, geography, some subject which is so confusing you don't want to touch it. This is about what is life today, what is going on, what is happening next door, what is happening in my street, what is happening in Trivandrum, what is happening in Cochin. So you have interest to learn. It also then allows you to learn more words, more information. Also, it allows you, most newspapers are good in English. That much I can see. At least the editors won't allow bad English to come. So the grammar, the sentence construction, the spellings, all that will be reasonably proper in most English newspapers. So that way also you know how words are constructed, how sentences are constructed. And then that allows you to learn more languages. When you find a word that you don't understand, you can either look up a dictionary, or you check in your, all you need to do is put a Google search for that word means what, it tells you all the meaning. You don't even have to go pick up that big pillow Oxford dictionary like what we used to do earlier. So all you need to do is put that word in Google and say, okay, what does farrago mean? It will say it is about confused, mixed up, all that stuff. It'll tell you very quickly. Okay. So we have tools, we have all access to very easy ways to learn anything that you want to learn. We have to find the purpose, we have to find the interest, and we have to put the effort to do this. And as Shalini was saying, Venda is such a nice place because all of us respect each other. We are respected for who we are. We are respected for what we bring to the table as a community. It is not about where I come from. It is not about how much money I have. It is not about what kind of smooth English I speak. So this is the nice place for us to pick up and do things as we go forward. Okay. Now I will stop. I know I've spoken for a lot of time, but I thought at least I'll share what I think is what my ideas about this concept of spoken English. It is not a necessity. It is not that only when you speak good English, you will be respected. It is not for increasing your personal value or wealth. It is about helping you do what you are doing in a much more productive way. Use that as a tool, not as something that if you don't have, you won't be respected. Then it becomes a little problem. Okay. Good. questions, points, comments, suggestions? In this call, you can tell in Malayalam, I'll ask Shalini or Diana to translate if I can't understand. I'm not expecting all of you to forced to speak in English. If you're not comfortable, I'm fine. This is about clarifying. So if you have a question, if you want to ask in any language, also I'm okay.
Sir, it's me, Neenu.
Yes.
Yeah. Whenever you said a lot of practical methods for us to learn English.
Yes, Neenu.
Whenever I heard something like people will go and watch news only, then you get enough English.
Watch what?
You said watch news.
News. Okay.
Yeah, only that's the only solution that we get from a lot of places for learning English. But you gave us some practical methods to learn, like write it down and go in front of mirror and practice by yourself. I think that's a very valid point for us, because as a beginner, it's a very good method, because we can't do that in somewhere. A lot of people doesn't have that opportunity to read English news or watch English news or some kind of, but we can write it down and we can practice by ourselves.
Very good. Very
I
good.
think thank you so much, sir, for giving these kinds of simple tools for us.
Thank you, Neenu. And you have spoken very well. I am very happy to hear you speak. You're very fluent and very nicely spoken. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah. Another suggestion I wanted to give is, in addition to what you said, is watching short English programs like Yes Minister, Yes Prime Minister. English there is very beautiful. Not only the episodes are interesting, but the style and the manner in which they speak is very interesting. You can learn short programs. And of course, apart from newspapers, reading books. Start with small story books. Then you will see your vocabulary increasing, and the manner in which you construct the sentences also you can learn. It will improve. Reading and watching short programs like Yes Minister, Yes Prime Minister. Those are all very good programs and very good English, delightful English. These two I wanted to say. Add.
ഈ ഗോപാൽജി പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ അത് ഭയങ്കര ട്രൂ ആണ്. നമ്മൾ ചെറിയ എന്റർടൈൻമെന്റ് പ്രോഗ്രാംസ് കാണുവാണെങ്കിലും വേഗം പഠിക്കും. അതിന്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ എക്സാമ്പിൾ എന്റെ മകളാ. ഞങ്ങള് വീട്ടിൽ ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് പറയുന്നതിനെക്കാട്ടും കൂടുതൽ as soon as she used to watch a lot of cartoons, Peppa Pig എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു, BBC-യുടെ കാർട്ടൂൺസ്. അതായിരുന്നു അതിന്റെ പ്രത്യേകത. BBC ബ്രിട്ടീഷ് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിന് ഒരു കുറച്ചും കൂടെ എന്താ പറയാ, നല്ല പ്രൊനൗൺസിയേഷൻസും നല്ല സ്റ്റൈലും ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ BBC-യുടെ കാർട്ടൂൺസ്, പെപ്പ പിഗ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ കാർട്ടൂൺസ് കണ്ടാണ് എന്റെ മോള് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് പഠിച്ചത്. അവള് ഭയങ്കര ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ആയിരുന്നു. ആദ്യം 5 വയസ്സ് വരെ ഭയങ്കര ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ആയിരുന്നു. അടുത്തുള്ള ആർക്കും മനസ്സിലാൻ പറ്റാത്ത ഇംഗ്ലീഷ്, അത്രയും കഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു. ബട്ട് ഐ എം ട്രൈ ടു സേ എന്റർടൈൻമെന്റിലൂടെ നമുക്ക് പഠിക്കാം. അപ്പൊ നിങ്ങൾ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു നല്ല ക്വാളിറ്റി ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു എന്റർടൈൻമെന്റ് ചൂസ് ചെയ്താൽ ഒരു 10 മിനിറ്റ് എല്ലാ ദിവസവും കണ്ടാൽ മതി.
Web series, I think, Chechi, web series, there are a lot of web series like Filter Copy and all, so they are dealing regular type of, normal type of.
Anything I missed?
Yeah, I used to play an online RPG game where you can interact with the other players. So I actually improved my language using that. Yeah.
So we were discussing small ways in we could improve. So some Gopalji was suggesting watching small entertainment programs is also one way of English programs. Like he was suggesting S Prime Minister, because it's a BB's production. They have very good English.
Even the other one, which is the language, there is one English course program also.
Mind Your Language. Yes, that's a very
one.
Yeah.
There was a couple of challenges with that. Is sometimes the phrases, the idioms, the jokes maybe a little tricky if you are not following the language for a thing. To start with, it, people will wonder why they are laughing. What is this thing?
That is when Tobin Tobin was
Yeah.
just telling us how RPG online games helped him pick up English. I don't know what RPG online games are. Tobin, you can explain.
Yeah, it's a role-playing game. That is, you are playing as a character, so you interact with the other players. That's what.
Very good. Very good. That also is
Yes,
good.
yes.
See, anything works. Whatever method is comfortable. Only thing, make sure that some of these games, some of these things, English in a very loose. See, movies. The movie English is not sometimes the normal form of English. They use terms. They use words. They use nicknames. Things like that that may not be appropriate in a common formal language. So you have to be a little careful. That is the only thing. Otherwise, entertainment is also, which is why I said History Channel, the Discovery Channel, they are a little bit more sanitized, better, more appropriate for professional and common usage lives. With friends, with smaller circles of more comfortable people, you can be a little bit more relaxed. But to start with, it's better to have a foundation of which is more common, standard, which everybody is comfortable with. Then, if there are no other questions, then can I sign off?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time. It
Very
has been
nice.
very useful.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much for patient listening. Thanks for all the participation.